Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The war between NCP and NCB, Nationalist Congress Party and Narcotics Control Bureau of India, the war is getting bigger and bigger and muckier and muckier. The NCP, the national spokesperson of NCP, Mr. Nawab Malik, has made a claim that, there's a lot of extortion that NCB is doing from Bollywood celebs. They are targeting at Bollywood and so on and so forth. So a lot of allegations which I'll come to. It has all happened this morning, so I'll take you through that too. That Nawab Malik has made, and those are very, very serious allegations. Okay. Now, my topic for tonight is not that. My topic for tonight is Aryan and the role of Sameer Wankhede. Let us be very clear about what Sameer Wankhede is doing. Let us be very clear about this case, and let us view this case clinically without any emotions attached. And let us talk about it. That's my show today. Let's get right into the show. Okay, before I get into my show, let me tell you what Mr. Nawab Malik said here on this morning. Like I told you, what Nawab Malik said. Nawab Malik said that, it has been noted that NCB officials has allegedly extorted money from Bollywood celebrities like Deepika Padukone, Riya Chakravarti, Rakul Preet Singh, Shraddha Kapoor, Sara Ali Khan and others who were called for inquiry or detained in drug cases linked to Sushant Singh Rajput. So he says that, Bollywood celebrities have been extorted. Bollywood is the focus. He also made a very, very major claim that the part of extorted money has also been given to the then additional charge of NCB DG Rakesh Asthana. Rakesh Asthana, mind you, is the Commissioner of Police, Delhi. So big allegations. This is what he has been making. One doesn't know whether it is right or wrong. It is not yet proven. So let us keep it as allegation and let us move forward. Like I told you, my subject today is clearly Aryan Khan's arrest and Sameer Wankhede's role. So let us put things into perspective. Let us be very clear on things. Are we saying that arresting Bollywood or arresting big names or arresting star kids is wrong? Are we saying that? Absolutely not. Is Sameer Wankhede wrong because of that? Absolutely not. Nobody is saying it. There are a lot of things said about Sameer Wankhede. Let us understand what is related to this case and what is not related to this case. The first thing is Sameer Wankhede's name. They say, according to his birth certificate, his name is Sameer Daud Wankhede, which was later on changed to Sameer Dayanand Wankhede. Does it matter to this case? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter if Sameer is Daud, Dayanand or Derek. It does not matter. How does the religion of an officer matter to the case? So that's point number one. Point number two is because he changed his religion, he changed his name, and with fake certificates, he has managed to get into UPSC. This officer is a 2008 pass out. He's a 2008 UPSC IRS officer. Now, if he has gotten through fake certificates, fake caste certificates, then the government of those days, 2007, he must have gotten 2006, 2007, 2008. The government of that time should be taking responsibility for that and answer for this. So that's as far as his certificate is concerned. Well, his name does not matter. His certificate, of course, does matter. And such people, if you're faking a examination, you should be punished for it. But does it relate to this case? It does not relate to this case. He went to Maldives. He went to Dubai. Same time when Bollywood was there, possibly he went to extort. Is there any proof? There is no proof. Can't he go to Dubai? He can go to Dubai. At his level, an officer normally earns around 1.3 lakhs a month. Cut shoot karke, haath mein, he gets around 85 to 90,000 rupees a month. That is what his monthly salary is. With that particular money a month, can he afford to go to Dubai? That's his family, that is his planning, his and his family's budget planning. How can we comment on that? Number one, has he gone to extort? God knows. Why did he go there when the Bollywood guys were there? Yeah, actually why? But then, theek hai yaar, so Bollywood there, he can't go. So, is it related to the case? It is not related to the case. Let's throw it out of the window. So that is another thing. He has this fancy towards Bollywood. And that's actually quite strange because every position he held, whether it was service tax, whether it was customs, every position he held, he gunned after Bollywood. Now, he says, Baba, listen, I catch 2,000 people. उसमें से 10 Bollywood निकला तो मैं क्या करूं? ठीक है, point है. It is very strange that he is the only one who has so many Bollywood accused in his list. But ठीक है, that's what he is. But is that related to this case? Well, not directly, not at least now, but let's talk about that. So let's put also all these things. Now, and secondly, whether, he has taken money from Deepika Padukone, whether he has given it to some other officers like Asthana, all that, it does not relate to this case at the moment. So all this information, theek hai, but let's put that on the side so that we can look at this case very clearly. Now let us get into this case. Now this case is very clear. 3rd of October, Aryan Khan was arrested. Now according to eyewitnesses, there were 11 people who were arrested. 11 people who were arrested out of around 1,200 people in the cruise ship. Huge cruise ship, but only 11 people they thought were partying and were going to have rape party inside this ship which has got 1,000 people. So 11 people were spotted, 11 people were arrested. ठीक है. Now there is a problem. The problem is 11 people when they were arrested, 3 people were left in 15 minutes. One of them, they say, was related to a Bharatiya Janata Party leader. Now the question, what did those 3 people who were left didn't do which these 8 people did? That question is never answered. Mr. Sameer Wankhede is a very media savvy person. He speaks his mind out. Why hasn't he made it clear as to why those 3 people were left? So that is not left. So that is a question that still needs to be answered. So 11 people were caught, 3 were left, and 8 are still under custody. Now, please look at whatever I say, link it together and make up your mind and you draw your own conclusion. Okay, now let us come to the next. The boys, when they were arrested, there was a person who has got cases all over the country, Lucknow, Pune, there's a 420 case, a private detective, that is what he calls himself, a bald fellow called Kiran Gosavi. He was the guy who actually caught this person, the Aryan Khan, and he was the person who was literally caught. He was the guy who was arresting Aryan Khan, a lay person who has got criminal record, was the person arresting Aryan Khan and taking him to NCB office. You see, every enforcement agency, every intelligence agency has their own khabris, as they are called, or people who give tips. All agencies have them. But somewhere down the line, in my experience, I have never seen a khabri going to arrest somebody. I, in my experience, has never seen a police officer say, "Arey baapre, I have to go and arrest some people." No, oh, the Havaldars are not there, so call the neighboring boys and let us all take them in the jeep and let us go arrest with the help of the neighboring boys and get them here. Aisa sab nahi hota hai. You see, India has a professional force. India has a professional enforcement force. You know what a professional enforcement force means? Professional enforcement force means people who follow standard procedures. People who follow standard protocols. NCB is a professional force. At least till recently, it was a professional force. Narcotics Control Bureau was a professional force. What is he doing calling criminals? I mean, this man is, I'm not saying he's alleged criminal, sorry. Let us be very clear on our words. Alleged criminals, calling these alleged criminals to arrest a young man of 23-year-old. And he is arresting him. What was the zonal director of NCB doing? It is under his command. Why is he not answering this question? Why has this question not been answered? There was another guy called Manish Bhanushali. Manish Bhanushali says, I am a worker of BJP. His profile once upon a time said he was a vice president of BJP. This man comes from Gujarat to Mumbai just to give a tip and then to get these boys arrested. Is he doing a good job? Fantastic. That's what a responsible citizen should do. But what is he doing in the arrest scene? What is he doing there arresting these people? What is he doing there when these boys were interrogated? What was his role? A tipper, a person who tips, he doesn't go and sit for the interrogation because he tipped the police. It doesn't work that way. He tips and he takes his money or whatever. If it is for money, he takes his money, or whenever the money is recovered, whatever that government gives you, that whatever 10%, 5%, 6%, I don't know, whatever it is, that money, and you take it and go. That's it. End of story. You don't go there to interrogate the person. You don't go there to file a charge sheet of that person. That is not the job of a civilian. That is the job of an officer. So what was he doing? Why is this man not answering the question? Why is Wankhede not answering that question? It is gross miscarriage of the justice system, of the protocols. Complete breach of protocols. Okay, number 2. Now let us look at number 3. Number 3 I want to talk to you about is Aryan Khan was arrested without a gram of drugs on him, in his possession. Not a gram of drugs. Acha, Aryan Khan was arrested without, when the bureau knew that he hadn't consumed any drugs. There was not a trace of drugs in his blood test. What was Aryan Khan then arrested for? Now, Aryan Khan, they say, was arrested for the fact that he knew that his friend, merchant, had drugs on him. He knew. So, he was arrested because he knew. He was arrested, they say, because they found some alleged WhatsApp messages which, according to them, allegedly links him to some cartel. Drug cartel, that is. WhatsApp message? Drug cartel? You arrest a boy for 1 month, therefore? Does it make sense? Okay. Now, like I said, please look at things in the order which I am saying. Now, let us go to 3rd. You see, when this boy was arrested, like, catching some big, hunt, this bald fellow, this Gosavi fellow, he was sitting inside and taking selfie with a boy who was arrested. He's arrested. I think, isn't that breaching some kind of a human right violation? Taking selfie with a man who is arrested. Do you know what the feeling is when you are arrested? I know what the feeling is. I know. I have experienced it when we were raided. I have experienced it when we were raided. I am 50 and I know what it means. Imagine a 23-year-old boy. Okay, now you are taking selfie. You are taking selfie with this man and you are asking him to speak to somebody. God knows who is he asking him to speak to. I don't know. But you are asking this boy to speak. All these visuals, I'm sure, is being shown to you as I speak. This man's bodyguard claims that, this fellow had asked for 18 crores of rupees. 8 crores, he says, in fact, they say first he was asking for 25 crores of rupees, 8 crores supposed to be given to Wankhede and rest of it for himself and others. Then he said he will settle for 18 crores of rupees, with again 8 crores to be given to Mr. Wankhede and the rest for them. So this was what the bodyguard said. Now look at the chronology of events. Mind you, I am not saying what the bodyguard said is right or wrong because there is no proof. How can anybody say what he's saying is right or wrong? He could be lying. But the fact is, look at the event. Look at that man. Look at him again. Look at his face. Look at his selfie. Look at what he's doing. And look at the way he's owning the NCB office. A layman, more importantly, a person who's got crime record, who's got police complaint against him in Lucknow and Pune and all other places. This man, his driver says that he was asking for money. Now, you decide whether it is right or whether it is wrong. But this is what is being said. The point is, what was Sameer Wankhede doing when all of this was happening? Do you think that man can dominate an NCB office when a zonal director is sitting inside the office? When a zonal director is in command? And if that is happening, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the junior officers there or the zonal director? Who should take the responsibility of it? So the fact is, what was Sameer Wankhede and why was Sameer Wankhede entertaining him? Now, let me also tell you, let me be fair. Okay, let me be fair. I checked with a lot of friends and people I know in the enforcement agencies, various enforcement agencies, UPSC officers, people Mr. Wankhede has worked under. Okay, I checked with a lot of people yesterday, anonymously, of course. A lot of them told me that, listen, to the best of their knowledge, and I have absolute trust in what they say, to the best of their knowledge, they say, till they knew him, he is not an overtly corrupt person. Overtly corrupt person. He is not. He is what the officers tell me. So this is also something that I want to bring to your notice. But look at the way the chronology of events are going through. Secondly, see, corruption, integrity is not just about money. Integrity is not just about money. Integrity is also your behavior, how you conduct yourself. That is also part of your integrity. And there, I think there are flaws. Entertaining Gosavis and others, for whatever reason he must be doing it, entertaining Gosavis and others under his watch, I think wrong. And if I am wrong, I have no right to point fingers towards somebody else. That doesn't work that way. And what kind of conduct is he showing when you have private people coming and arresting people and going? So this is what it is. So coming back to my story, why was this man so obsessed with Bollywood? So obsessed with Bollywood. Now, let's talk about NCB. Like I said, let's cut the other crap. NCB. He says, I got 2,000 people, only Bollywood people are being targeted. All that is not correct. All that is not correct. You know what an NCB is? NCB is Narcotics Control Bureau for the 8th time. Narcotics Control Bureau is supposed to be a national institution, national body. Okay, they are supposed to handle large cases of drugs and narcotics, large cartel. And Mumbai is a place where there is drugs. There is no doubt about it. And it is not that only Bollywood are the people who use drugs. Lot of people in Mumbai use drugs. In fact, there was cases of big businessmen and sons of major businessmen using drugs. So, Mumbai is used to all that. If a major drug cartel or major drug consignment is caught, the entire country comes to know about it. When Mundra Port mein, when the drugs was caught, didn't we all come to know about it? We came to know about it. Why? Because it was a major consignment caught. Pray tell me, after Mr. Wankhede has taken over, have you read one article where there was something that he has caught 1,000 kgs or 2,000 kgs or 5,000 kgs? One article. The only thing why he was famous for is because he caught Riya Chakrabarti, he interrogated Deepika Padukone, he interrogated Soha Ali and all that. That was all that we knew him about. If had he actually interrogated an actual drug cartel, it would have been printed. That's our job. I have a department and every media has a department that looks into crime. So yes, everybody would have reported it. But the fact is that never happened. That never happened. 2,000 people, 7,000 people and all is fine. But that never happened. So, NCB has not done any major howl in his term. So, the fact is that, why is he so obsessed with Bollywood? I am not saying, therefore, he is extorting and was nahi bol raha hu. At least, aaj nahi bol raha hu because I don't have a proof. But the question is, why is he obsessed? Before I end my show, my last point. You see, as a citizen of this country and as somebody who has seen a little bit of enforcement from outside, at least worked with a lot of police departments in this country, let me ask a simple question. If we have one more to evaluate Mr. Sameer Wankhede, what has Mr. Sameer Wankhede actually done for NCB? Has he been an asset for NCB? From a layman's perspective, has he improved the name of NCB once he took over in Mumbai, or has he been responsible for NCB losing its credibility? I think the answer is he is kind of part of NCB losing its credibility. Number one. Number two, after he took over, like my first question, has he done any major activity which has actually stopped the distribution, selling and consumption of drugs in Mumbai? Has he done it? Answer is no. He has caught film stars who got 1 gram, half gram, 5 grams, 6 grams. That comedian lady he has caught, Bharti, and these Deepika Padukone, and caught people 5 gram, 2 gram. He's caught all of them. Has he done any major cases? The answer is no. Now, the point is, this is something that we need to remember before we make our minds up on whether Sameer Wankhede is a good officer or Sameer Wankhede is not. I come to you with a special request. At HW News Network, we are planning an expansion into more territories, expansion into more areas, putting up our people in more areas, having more people on ground so that we can get you news from various corners of this country. We are short of 11 lakh of rupees for that. We require your subscription. Your subscription can help us expand. Like I said, your subscription help us survive and grow. Please subscribe. Please help us get that 11 lakhs. And I'll see you next time. Namaskar.